Greetings, my friends, and welcome to this second part of my look at the nations of Empire Total War, and in particular, the minor, sort of smaller nations in this beautiful mod. And today we're going to look at the Knights of St. John, one of my sort of favourite smaller nations to play because of basically where you start off from. You start off from a tiny little island here. Can you just see that, my friends, just there in the sort of the green, those two green dots there, just off the coast of Italy and just off the coast of Africa. And it is pretty much one of the smallest sort of starting nations you can possibly get. They literally just have one tiny little island to themselves. But that isn't not to say that you can't do a lot with them, because believe me, there are a lot of options with Knights of St. John if you play the campaign very, very shrewdly, very, very smart at the start. You can actually get yourself quite a lot of territory quite early on, and also a lot of trade, because remember, all of the trade coming in and through all these nations here is actually going to be flowing through the Mediterranean here. All of these nations, France, Spain, Italy, Austria, Ottomans, Russia, everything is all going to be passing through this Mediterranean sort of link here, in past Gibraltar, out here into the Atlantic Ocean to the Americas, and vice versa, coming back in from the Americas through here, all the trade hubs running through here, a lot of trade through here. So you're in an ideal position, if you can get the trade, to actually be part of that sort of global economy, that huge global economy that's taking part now. And it gives you so many different options if you play it smart at the start, my friends. But let's have a quick look here at what you actually get here at the start. And so let's have a look at some of the strategic and tactical, economic options available to you. You do start off with some decent forces available to you. But what I do, I like it. You're almost so small that the other nations almost don't really consider you too much of a threat. They don't really want to bother you. They don't really want to take you over. They don't really want to raid you. You're sort of just there, but then you're not of any great consequence to them. So here it is, my friends. Straight away, bam! You can see straight away Malta. Look at that, beautiful position. The absolute smallest position you can start from anywhere, my friends. Anywhere at all is right here in Malta. But even then, you've got a decent fleet. This is not a fleet to be sniffed at, considering the times, considering who you are and where you start from. This is absolutely not a fleet that you can just sort of say, oh well, this fleet is rubbish. It isn't. It's a very, very good fleet, a very strong fleet. And believe me, you're going to need it at the start, my friends, because the absolute biggest threat to you is the Barbary States. You have the Barbary States right on your doorstep. They are here, all over. They pretty much sort of semicircle surround you here in this sort of semicircle here, and you're slap bang in the middle. Remember, they're pirates. They just raid. That is their entire job. They are a protectorate of the Ottoman Empire. The Ottomans pretty much just use them as a sort of raiding. They sort of, it's almost state-sponsored piracy is basically what it is. And they're right on your doorstep. This is why you must keep this fleet intact from the very beginning. What my recommendation would be do is immediately put it into port. Get it into port, or what you could do even is you could even blockade this port here with it. Straight off the bat, you could blockade this port here of the Barbary States. But as you can see straight away, you're going to hit this fleet here from the Barbary States, and that is not a fleet to be sniffed at either. That's some pretty powerful, high maneuverability. So as you can see here, if you wanted to block this port here, which is pretty much the port where most of the Barbary States launch most of their attacks from here in Sirte, then you'd have to deal with this force here, but it's nothing. You're not going to suddenly just bowl over, I don't think, my friends, because they've got pretty decent admiral as well here. But as you can see, our ships aren't really up to matching that. So personally, what I would do is put them into port. And as you can see, you start off with 7,500, and you're only able to get these ships to start with. So straight away, you're already on the back foot in terms of what you can build compared to the other nations. But that doesn't mean that puts you off. Don't be put off that, my friends. Use what you have available to you. Get some 6 rates in. Keep building the ships that you have available to you, because believe me, they will still do damage. The hull strength is excellent as well on these. And the hull strength on these here is only 1,100. So you can see they are not really going to match you. So if you want to take that fight, get rid of this fleet here straight off the bat, and then sort of, put this fleet this port under a blockade. Go for it, my friends. But personally, what I would do, I'd put mine back to here, and then say build maybe 2 or 3 6-rates, and then go for this fleet here, because then at least you've got a good chance of eliminating this fleet and having the ships left over. They're going to put you in the position where you can blockade this port and pretty much shut down the Barbary states for a good time there in raiding you. And let's have a look at what else we've got here. I'm just going to concentrate first of all on what this nice St. John actually have, and then we'll look at the wider picture, economy and trade, etc. So you start off here straight away with a military governor's encampment. Personally, I think this is a great thing to have, better than sort of a governor's house or a governor's mansion, because straight away, as you can see here, you can already start recruiting horse, which is going to be pretty vital, believe me. You can only get militia at the moment, but if you upgrade here, if you invest wisely here, you're then going to unlock line infantry. Straight off the bat, you're going to be able to get line infantry, which is going to be absolutely fantastic. You cannot get any artillery yet because we simply do not have the infrastructure to do that yet. Again, if you invest in cobbled roads, that's going to improve your wealth and also your movement across the map, as it were. But again, we're only on this small island. You could be looking at Spain as well as a good ally, but at the moment, you're going to get horse. And if you were to invest in a military governor's barracks, then you're going to be able to get line infantry, which is absolutely vital if you want to expand out to other areas, which you're definitely going to need to do. So that's pretty much what we got available again. And we also got a fortification, which is absolutely fantastic, because if a nation decides we want Malta because it's slap bang in the middle of the Mediterranean, it's a good sort of launch pad to launch our own attacks. If they come for you, at least you've got settlement fortifications that gives you a good chance to hold off any sort of aggression from another nation. As I said, infrastructure is not too bad. The army start off with pikemen, which is usually standard, 2 militia regiments, and a general's bodyguard, which is always good to have. But personally, if it was me, the first thing I would do, I would invest straight away 3,000 in military governor's barracks. That's going to unlock the line infantry. Remember, it takes 5 turns, so you're going to have to pretty much sit there with what you've got and try and hold if somebody does want a piece of you. But I would get line infantry straight away, as quick as I possibly can. I don't know if it opens up any more. Yes, it does. It increases the capacity as well for recruitment, so 2. So you're going to be able to get 2 units per turn instead of just the 1. Not brilliant, but it's actually better than what you're going to get there from the start. So actually, you're not in too bad a position. Now, let's have a look at our diplomacy here. Diplomacy, straight from the off. Friendly with Austria, always a good thing to have. Again, look, all of the trade is pretty much cancelled out here. You cannot get any trade at all unless you convert this shipyard here to, you dismantle it, get rid of it, and you convert it into a trade port. Now that is something you might want to consider. You might want to consider turning this into a trade port to be able to get the trade in that you're going to need. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself struggling pretty hard here, because you can see here, you've got 1,024 coming in from the tax, 1,650 from other, 2,600 is not too bad, but half of that is going on Army and Navy. So again, you're going to be squeezed quite hard there, my friends. You've only got 1,240 available once your debts have been paid off. Not a great deal of money. So you might want to consider changing this from the shipyard to a trading port. If you trade to a trading port, then what you're going to find is these are going to be opened. You're going to be having all of these opened up. So you can be able to, really get some of the big guns trading with you. Spain are very friendly. They're only off the coast from you. Portugal is friendly. Austria is friendly. All of these have ports. All of these have huge trade infrastructures. The Ottoman Empire, they don't like us at all. That's something you need to keep an eye on. The Ottomans will use the Barbary states as a proxy to pretty much try and take you down, using that way. Italian states, they're friendly with us. Again, they're only off the coast from you. But unfortunately, you cannot. New Spain, they're friendly with us. Venice are friendly. All of these nations have a huge trade income. Personally, if it was me, I would pretty much dismantle the shipyard, and then I would put it into a trade port. The trade port is going to open up so much more income to you. I know you're going to lose the shipyard, and you've only got the island. You're going to need ships to move about, but the port will still give you the ability to build ships. The ability to build ships won't disappear. So what I personally would probably do is probably recruit one of these and then dismantle this port, this shipyard, turn it into a port. Then you can open up a huge amount of income coming your way. And that's pretty much that sort of diplomacy dealt with. Definitely try and get alliances with those around you. So Spain would definitely be a huge bonus here. Try and get an alliance with them. Portugal as well, although they're quite distance away from us. Maybe even try and soften up the Ottomans a little bit. Maybe offer them some trade. Maybe, try and get them into a better mood with you. Maybe even offer them a gift, just to give them, just to make them back off, because you don't want the Ottomans attacking you, because eventually someone's going to not like you and they're going to come for you big time and not going to be able to hold them off. Again, the smaller nations here, everybody else is fine with you. Of course, the Barbary states, they're at war with pretty much everybody. So that's something you can't avoid. But the people who are around you, the small nations that are around you that make a difference, they are friendly with you, which is definitely a good thing in your favor. Let's have a look at research technology. We've got nothing because we don't have any buildings. Again, like the pirates episode I showed previously, because you don't have any sort of infrastructure, large infrastructure base, you're pretty much going to have to either get yourself very quickly on the mainland here and try and either, if you get a gentleman, steal the technology, or if you don't, you're going to have to wait until you get an army and take over some regions that have a school or university or a college that are going to enable you to open up, or even try and buy some or trade some technology or buy technology. Even trying to buy some, maybe a plug bayonet, something like that. That would be fantastic. That's going to set you on the road to be able to get ring bayonet, military syllabus, start opening up the military tech tree, which is something I always go for first, is military tech. And now I think we can probably have a good look here at where we are going to attack. What is your strategic options here? First off, you've got a good potential ally here in Spain, right off the coast of here. Spain have got Naples. You've also got Italy, who are very friendly towards you. So this sort of area, the northern tip here, you've got Venice as well. Austria are all friendly with you. So this group of territories, this group of nations here, very friendly, potentially excellent allies. And you can still get allies. You can still throw in, and see if you can get an alliance with them. They're going to probably say yes to you because they're friendly. And that's going to give you some, a nice, secure position in this sort of northern section here. Of course, Ottomans are a different ballgame, and so are Barbary states. The Ottomans, not so much. The Ottomans, we can sort of, you can maybe just sort of quell their sort of hostility towards you. Maybe sending a gift to them, maybe just trying to get some alliance with them. And maybe if you change your port, if you change your shipyard to a port, maybe trying to get some trade with them. Maybe that'll soften their stance with them. The absolute key to getting what you need in this, my friends, is to go for the Barbary states. The Barbary states must be your main goal in this. And no sooner should you get yourself into Tunis ASAP, my friends, because it is just a short hop across here, or even Tripoli. But look at Tripoli. Tripoli is absolutely locked down here. It does have good fortifications, and I'm assuming it's going to have quite a tough stance here on how to get in there. But for me, the Barbary states would be the very first place I strike. And you've even got a shipyard here, so if you turn that to a port, build up your forces as best you can, turn this into a governor's barracks, or a military governor's barracks, get those line infantry out, get those horse out, try and balance the books as best you can, change this to a port, get the money coming in. And then, my friends, I would hit Tunis with everything I've got, because that is then going to clear this section here for you. This chunk of sort of the Barbary states is going to be out of the way. Remember, the Ottomans will not like that at all, but you just have to go for it. Once you're strong enough, once you feel good enough about doing it, you want to go great guns for the Barbary states. You might even want to launch a two-pronged attack if you've got enough troops, if you've balanced the books well enough, if you've got enough trade coming in. If your fleet is strong enough to sort of fend off the Barbary states raiding, then you might even be able to produce enough troops. You may even want to send a ship out just to scout these coasts here and find out what they are doing. Is there enough? Is the garrison large in any of these? Is it small? Are you going to be able to crack it first of all? Because remember, if you go for something like this with two armies, you're going to have to crack them straight away. You're going to have to break these territories immediately. Hanging around will only mean either the Ottomans get involved, or the Barbary States is able to reinforce or even cut off supplies to Malta. So if you're going to do it, go for it, but plan it, my friends, plan it meticulously. Be ready for counterattacks, be ready for rebellions, be ready, plan as much as you possibly can. For me personally, I would probably go for Tunis. If I had enough money, if I had the forces available, I would then launch an attack on Tripoli at the same time, but Tunis would be my #1 target. You've got farmlands, you've got a decent capital here as well, you've also got a shipyard. Straight away you're already in a good position if you manage to get that. And again, if you clear out all of these here, then you're going to be pretty much destroying the Barbary States, taking away a major enemy. You're not going to get a great deal of trade. They don't really have much in terms of what they're trading, because most of their profits, most of their income comes from raiding. They're like the pirates in the Caribbean, pretty much. But there's also Algiers. Now, Algiers, my friends, gives you a different little tactic. They've got minefield, they've got another shipyard, they've also got farmlands as well. So this is a little bit more prosperous. Again, still pretty barren. No, it's not going to give you a huge amount of income. But what you're doing is you're giving yourself a good base, a good strong base in Africa. You're also giving yourself at least some income, some internal tax revenue, and you're also going to start increasing your trade as well. Maybe convert some of these shipyards to a trade port, start bringing in more money. Then, my friends, then you can start possibly looking at the Ottoman Empire. Now, the Ottoman Empire is not going to be able to look after all of their territories all at the same time. Once I've dealt with the Barbary States, if it was me, I would definitely start looking at Egypt, Jerusalem, Damascus, Syria. I'd definitely start having a look at these, maybe even looking at Greece and things like that. Maybe even being able to coordinate, if Russia decides to sort of really push hard against the Ottomans, maybe even coordinating your attacks so that, you know, when the Ottomans are pushing units up north to deal with the Russians, you're able then to move into those areas where they aren't defended very well and take them out. And, you know, you've got some, let's have a look at your ministers now. Whoa, look at that. That Minister for the Treasury is absolutely one of the best I've ever seen, ever, to start with. I mean, look at that, 12% bonus to the growth in trade routes income. That's why you need to get your shipyard into a port as quickly as possible. This gentleman is going to bring in some serious money for you. Again, brilliant diplomatic relations here. Mind you, the diplomatic relations here is -10. So this gentleman sort of offsets that, what the monarch gives you, so that the king gives you. Ramon the First. Justice is excellent as well. Yeah, army could have done better. Navy definitely doing a good job here. I wonder if one of these gentlemen here could possibly, yeah, +1 to Met. So possibly even move this gentleman into army. Because some of these are VS. Let's have a look at some of these. Honest, +1 to management. Even maybe, you know, moving one of these gentlemen into the army to sort of give that, to lower the cost of what, you know, the army upkeep, the you know, recruiting units and such. But anyway, friends, in a wider picture, you might be able even to strike at the coast here of the Ottomans. Maybe even, you know, start picking away some of these. Maybe even coordinate your attacks with Russia, maybe even with Austria as well, if they start, you know, fighting against the Ottomans. You know, if the Ottomans are drawing their forces elsewhere, they're not going to be able to cover every single part of the nation because it's so vast. That gives you a perfect opportunity. But anyway, my friends, I hope you have enjoyed this guide here to the Knights of St. John. I will be doing a Knights of St. John very, very soon because it's something I really wanted to do for a long time. And I'm hoping to do that pretty soon. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, please comment, like, and subscribe. And as always, your comments are always welcome down below. Please let me know if any of you have ever played it or ever, you know, done the campaign with Knights of St. John and completely swept the map. Let me know how you've got on. Let me know what you do. If you do start a campaign with it, let me know how you're getting on. Always interested. Always great to hear from all of you about how your campaigns are going. But until next time, my friends, when I can promise you another guide very soon. And also, when I get back home, there'll be some of my proper episodes going up there, sort of my USA, my Great Britain, my Ottoman campaign, and I might even include another new campaign as well, maybe even Knights of St. John. But until then, my friends, thank you for all your support. Hope you're having a good week so far. But until then, bye for now.